Welcome, everybody, and welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal. That guy over there is Pedro. He is Mr.
Hi.
We call that old show, this old house. He's gonna be doing some interesting. It's not even that interesting. I mean, I'm sure it is. But before we started, he was telling me that hey, me and my dad are gonna put some flooring down, and we're gonna save some money instead of paying someone else to do it. And I'm sitting there thinking, I am not a man. These hands are not meant to touch tools. Only women and computers, keyboards and whatnot, but not a hammer, a screwdriver. Don't know. Flathead. Be talking Spanish to me. I don't know Spanish, Pedro.
Listen, we're Hispanic men, so that's what we do sometimes. No, listen, I'm not that handy actually, but when you have a home, you have to learn how to do certain things because it is very expensive to pay people to do it. So, yeah, we're gonna put some flooring down tomorrow. I do feel manly though. I want to say this. I feel manly. I hung up a picture today.
Nice.
I hung up some garland crap my girlfriend wanted me to put up at the little whatever. And then I hung up some picture. It's really ugly, actually, in the kitchen. She wanted me to put up. So I did some things with my hands. Then I went downstairs and ripped some old flooring up because we're putting new flooring down. And I took all this stuff and put it in the garbage. And I said, yes, I feel.
You gotta feel bad. You gotta feel good.
Yes, I used my hands. I had to wash my hands today. I feel really manly. So
you get the dirt off your fingernails and whatnot. That's upset. Did you have a tool belt on?
No, I'm not Bob Villa.
So you gotta get a tool belt. Get a tool belt, plaid shirts. You like the college shirts. So you're pointing.
Yeah, we're not going that far.
Jeans and Tims.
I'm good.
All right. Well, you gotta do it right if you're gonna do it. But good luck with all of that. We have a really good one today, guys. So we're gonna talk about a little bit of sports. Now, not about the sports game, but some sports stuff. A really interesting question that I have not told Pedro yet. He likes to be surprised, so I'm gonna throw that in there as well. Then we're gonna talk about at the end, the most important part of the show, I think. Men are becoming more lonely, but some women are like, why should we be with a man? Being single is better. And then she has some data to back it up. So we're going to talk about that as well. Appreciate everyone that's already in the chat. If you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay or you download this, I know Chad, a good friend Chad, he checks out the podcast. So he's always telling me some stuff that happened a day ago because it's on the podcast that's get posted a little later. Matthew's calling you the tool man already. Well, is that?
Let's not push it.
Are you gonna vlog this? Like, yeah, I'll be kind of cool.
You know what's funny? Actually, I saw a really interesting. Somebody shared with me a YouTuber, and he's like huge, and I forget his name. He's got like 12 million subscribers. He's a YouTuber, and he talks about. He's out in New York somewhere. I forget his name. It starts with a C. Carson or anyways. Somebody shared a video of mine that he did. I never heard of this guy before, so I watched the video, and it was really good actually. And I was pulling up the flooring. And I'm like, people need to know how to do this, but I'm like, I can't be the one that would, I was thinking like I can put a camera up, me and my dad could do it together. It could be a fun little thing. And then I thought, nah, because, listen, we don't really know what we're doing and it is kind of easy, but I would be lying if it didn't cross my mind because I thought it could be like a fun thing to do, but now I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it will be a thing that it would be a good idea for like your biggest supporters to see you look like a fool, like
I'm going to be cussing. Me and my dad are going to be cussing. Probably it's going to be one of those kind of days. So it would be fun, but yeah, we're not going to do that.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, it would be easier if you had a tool belt, but you refused to get one.
I think, yeah. Let me pull up this guy, Casey Neistat.
Oh, Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat. I had never heard of him before, and I actually been watching a couple of his videos, and he's an entertaining dude. So
yeah, definitely.
Big time. Yeah.
He did documentaries. Like he already had experience in filmmaking before he did his vlogs, and he used to do. At one point, he did 800 days each. Like he do you every day. He did it.
Yes, somebody sent me a video that he did that was recent, saying what it's like and why he did 800 days and blah blah blah. And it was a really 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 good video.
Yeah,
like very good.
His editing is next level.
Amazing.
I don't know how he's doing it, and it looks like a lot of it's by himself.
Yeah.
He's real comfortable leaving cameras in middle of Manhattan.
Yeah,
Like
it
he still
seems.
does his thing. He
Yeah.
has put a camera, and I'm like, that's a lot of reasons I would like to do more of that, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
gotta get somebody to back me up. Like, we gotta chase this motherfucker. He grabs my,
Yeah. Yeah.
multiple thousand, $2,000-$3,000 camera. But
Yeah.
yeah, Casey Neistat, he's like an OG YouTuber too.
Yeah. I
But
could
his vlogs
tell.
are amazing. I'm a big fan of his stuff. So a good thing.
Yeah, me too.
And
I've watched about 5 videos in the last couple days, and super good. Like
you can
just
pick up some stuff too.
yeah,
You pick up some stuff like a lot. Like he's like super detailed with the music mixed with it, and he doesn't. There's no flashiness. It just
no,
he knows how to tell a story.
but it's good. His cuts. I mean, it makes sense that he did documentaries or a filmmaker or whatever. And I feel like I've heard him say that, and you could tell he's using the best equipment in the world, and like it's really, really, really good. You know, and he seems like a chill, like honest dude. You know, like the way he conveys himself on camera seems real legit. So I'm glad somebody shared that video with me. I'm glad I didn't. He's a huge YouTuber, obviously, but I had never heard of him before. So
definitely want to check him out. Casey Neistat. So another really big. He's not a YouTuber, but he's a baseball player, and he became $360 million richer.
Did we talk about that on Monday?
I thought we were talking about the Giants picking him up because it seemed like Giants were going to go hard after him, San Francisco Giants, but Yankees got him. 9 years.
How many years?
30 years old.
9 years. That's a lot of years. Damn.
And it's I've seen some well, you know what? The diehard Yankee guys, I think they're not happy because they're like, that's way too much money. You're not gonna get the value back. But I feel like the casual fans or the fans who go to you go to the Yankees game. Who you want to see?
Yeah,
you want to see that guy, that
yes.
behemoth of a man.
Yeah.
So I think the Yankees are in a bad spot, right? They were in a tough spot. Let them go. They look like they didn't help. They didn't put enough money in. Yankees like to spend a lot of money, but at the same time, these baseball contracts weird me out. It's like the baseball contracts are like super generous and ridiculous, and the NFL contracts are like you sprain your neck or you sprain your ankle, they'll probably move your boot you somewhere, and then basketball is kind of like in the middle. I don't know. What do you think? Like in terms of those crazy.
Well, NFL has a level of guaranteed money, but really not because they can cut you at any time, and
it's a fraction of
NFL's getting better. Yeah, but for me, the baseball money is crazy. It's just it's crazy. And for a while there, they were signing certain guys were getting a lot of years, big money. The last couple of years, you didn't see a lot of that happening. But recently, it seems the free agency, like a lot of trades, a lot of people moving teams, big money being spent. So I don't know if some of that TV contract money is hitting these teams' bank accounts now, and they're like, "We got the money, let's go." But it's interesting. In basketball, these guys are. I mean, for me, I think basketball players make the most based on amount of games they're actually playing, the health and things like that. You can get hurt in basketball, but it is very different. The basketball guys, to me, have it the best, in my opinion. I think they're making big money for the amount of games they play and the amount of strain they put on their body. I think football players are the least valued, which is ironic because that's where the most money is.
Yeah, 14 franchises. Last time I seen $14 billion business.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but I think with football, there's so many players, the teams are so big, and they also realize that they're almost more like, look at the Saquon Barkley, for example, one of the best, he's top 5 running backs in the league. He's had a fantastic year, right? But he's one injury away from never playing again. So, they can't give these guys all this guaranteed money. Look at what's happening to Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. He's on a contract. He bet on himself this year. He wants a contract, and he's a little banged up right now. So what's he going to do? He's having a good year, but are they going to pay him? Are they not? So NFL is just weird because I think there's so many guys that can do quarterback position aside. So many guys that can do is similar to like a Saquon. Like they could get a rookie next year that could be pretty good. He's probably not Saquon, but he could have similar stats.
Yeah, he can.
Franchises don't value certain positions as much. So I don't know. The money's big. These guys are all getting paid. I'm happy for them. So.
Yeah. Hector says Yankees offered him 6 years at 216 before. That's pretty low. That's pretty low. And he said
he made out very well.
And he didn't appreciate, I think, that contract even being out. There was some little issues that he was upset about. I forgot the details. And Nova Dasher coming in. What's up? Baseball and NBA are all guaranteed. I mean, and I feel like they need to figure something out with the NFL where a certain percentage. Sometimes I think the percentages are not as high, but the problem is, and it kind of, the Cleveland Browns broke that bank, getting that guy who touches all those women, those massage women, fully guaranteed. And then Lamar's like, I didn't even touch any women inappropriately.
Yeah,
You
no.
gotta give me guaranteed. And I'm like, no, we don't. First of all, you're running a quarterback. Yeah,
because he's a running quarterback, I think.
He is throwing from the pocket better than ever before. But I mean, okay, this is a good question. Who you rather have, Deshaun Watson? Without let's just take away all the weird stuff.
Oh man,
Who you rather have, Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson?
I'll take Lamar. I'll take Lamar Jackson right now because I think
would
he's
take, and again, no, like if Deshaun doesn't touch anybody, like he was just on pure football skill, I think I'll go with Deshaun.
Would you? I'll take Lamar. I think Lamar
injuries, man. He got one, like I said, one hit away. He's out. One hit away.
Deshaun Watson uses his legs as well, not as much. I don't think he's as electrifying as Lamar, but I just like Lamar Jackson as well. I like his attitude. He seems like a better teammate than Deshaun in some ways.
Clearly.
Just so I would take Lamar. I just would. I think he's a guy that could really win me a Super Bowl quicker than Deshaun Watson. So, and Deshaun Watson, I'm a big fan. I wish the Bears would have taken him back a few years ago. But some things about that he's done have been a little weird, and he didn't look great the other day. So I don't know, but I don't dislike Deshaun Watson, but I'd take Lamar Jackson first. I can see Lamar going to like the Lions, Detroit, or somebody paying him some money. They got money. If the Ravens don't give it to him, and Detroit's on an upswing, so if they land Lamar Jackson, that could be a huge deal for them. So
that would be amazing for a Detroit fan, because we have one good YouTuber friend of ours who just covers that team, and they've been terrible for all their best players literally left early.
Yeah.
Right? Like, like Kevin Johnson, one of the greatest wide receivers, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Barry Sanders retired a little early.
This this is so bad. I don't want to play anymore.
It's bad.
But all these players now and all the money and how these contracts are I can't keep up. Like, the numbers now don't make sense to me. I think because it's age. When Kevin Garnett signed that $100 million deal, that blew my mind. I'm like, whoa. But then like, this gotta be some dude special. He obviously was one of the best power forwards ever. But when you sign $100 million contract, he was like, yo, you're the man. Like, you're the franchise. This is it. And and we all can recognize that. You sign $100 million contract.
Yeah.
But now anybody gets $100 million contract. Like, I making fun of the Knicks, and the Knicks played pretty well tonight. They signed a guy that I did not know about until like the playoffs for like a few months. $100 million.
Brunson.
Yeah, and then we're I think the Knicks are now, I think 12 and 13. You paid $100 million to a player to get our team to 12 and 13. So that's why I'm out. I'm out with that. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it anymore. So,
shout out to the Lakers too. Lakers have been a lot better in the last month. I think they were like 8-2 or 8-3 in the last. So Lakers are looking better to still like the 12th seed, but Anthony Davis has been going crazy the last 3 weeks. So it's been
it's like give him run the offense off the best player.
Duh.
Right?
Yeah.
Then, just run it from him, because he could basically do everything.
Yeah.
And then Russell off the bench. Of course, he's better than the second unit.
Yep.
And then LeBron does what LeBron does. So, he may be hurt again. Novadash. I remember seeing him either going into the locker room. Was it last game?
I don't know. I'm not surprised, but I know he was putting up big numbers, like for I don't know 8-9 games in a row. Like, he was averaging like 35. And
it was like
crazy.
He made people like, you must have forgot that I was a top 5 player.
But he can't stay healthy. That's been his thing. So
that's unfortunate. But they did. The Knicks did beat the Hawks. Beat them bad. It was getting to a point. It was like almost 20-something, 30. And Trae Young was playing. So I don't know what. It just wasn't their night.
I heard something. Did something happen with him where he had an issue with the coaching? I saw something. Do you know anything about that?
I've heard about it, like a quick read over social media. He's been annoyed with them for a while. A couple years ago, he's like, I'm not getting any help. They brought some help. It's just not a good team. I don't know. Atlanta Hawks was always a team that was never that. They were okay. Like back
it's
in
not a destination that free agents want to go to.
It's Atlanta though.
But
right.
Yeah, but big names don't go there. They usually draft, but big names don't go to Atlanta in free agency. That's the
It's a
tough thing.
weird because it's a beautiful city. But yeah, so yeah, he just seems like not really. I think he needs to move on to a different team, but we'll see. But another interesting thing, we didn't talk about this, but this happened a couple of days ago. We did talk about Deion Sanders and the amazing things that he's doing with Jackson State. And then, like, out of nowhere, he's like, "Yeah, he's going to Colorado." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no.
Like,
I was following a lot of that.
it's more complicated than that, but I would
I'm
like
rooting for him big time. I think
yeah,
this is
tell me
a
about it.
good thing. I think this is a good thing. That's what
Tell
I'll
me,
say.
why do you think it's a good thing?
So he went to Jackson State, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of bells and whistles, paid him good money, but there were some issues there, and he asked for some more support and better facilities, and he was really trying to change the culture of the SWAC and the Jackson State. And I think they only lost a few games in 3 years. Like
No, it was an
undefeated
season.
this year, changing the culture there. He did a lot of really great things that nobody else has ever done in that university, Jackson State. So I think he got to the point where, okay, I've done what I could do here. Colorado wants to pay me more money. I'm going to have more of an impact on young men's lives, better facilities. Why not? So I think it should be applauded. I think the only issue people are having with him is that he said that in some interviews that this was his calling in Jackson State, and this is where he wants to be, and God called me here, and blah. He's saying all the things people want to hear at a press conference when you're the first week in, right?
Yeah, right.
But I think he's going to do big things in Colorado. This guy, he's a man. He's a leader of men, and I think he's going to do great things in Colorado. So I think it's a win-win for everybody, and that's how I look at it. I think he's going to have more of an impact in young men's lives than he was at Jackson State because of the limitations of the money. And in college football, it is a professional sport. This is $1 billion industry, guys. So I think Colorado is going to allow him to impact on a bigger scale, in my opinion. So I think this is a win overall for young men that want to play college football.
Yeah, Novadash said it's good for him. People are giving him crap for moving up.
That's what I'm saying. Sense. Yeah, come on.
Well, man. I'm gonna bring some sense to it in terms of why people are upset. And I don't know. The parts of, I guess what I've seen a lot of other black people, right? Some other black people in their takes, right? Like there's some that are like, hey, listen, you can get paid more money, more opportunity, go ahead. But some people are like, damn, you're kind of leaving Jackson State behind, and you're kind of you started something here, and you're kind of leaving before it kind of flourishes. You're leaving before things can get set up so people are at least forced to give you more money. It's historically black university. You came there, you didn't need money. Money was not an issue with you, but you also understood that money is necessary for these programs. So it just seems like, damn, that was kind of early. You're thinking like, pretty a few years in it. But at the same time, I'm reading a little bit more into it. There was some issues. Like I said, there was no issues where, first of all, apparently his car has been broken into several times. His son's car has been broken into. Mm-hmm. So crime and safety obviously is an issue.
Yep.
There's still issue with water. There's still issue with I guess a lot of the people who went to school. It's not Illuminati because that's something different. Damn, the people who went there before, and then you get emails and text messages asking to donate.
Boosters.
They were
alumni. You're talking about alumni. You were thinking of alumni.
They were donating.
They were not ponying up.
The city, Jackson, is not. So I understand that in Colorado is going to put a lot of money. Actually, I want to show you this really super crazy hot take. It's from Jason Whitlock. And if you know who Jason Whitlock is,
I know
he's extremely provocative. I think a lot of it is an act. I'm sorry. I already had the volume on it. I'm sure he's a conservative, sure, but sometimes you'll see a story, and before you see what Jason has to say about it, you're already like, he's gonna say something ridiculously over the top. Yeah. So I'm gonna put it up right here just to show you, and and some people do have this take, so it's not like out of left field. Mm-hmm. But let me show you real fast, and I'm gonna read it to you, making sure it's big enough everyone can see. Maybe too big. Okay. Yeah, good enough.
Mm.
Okay. Deion Sanders left Jackson State for Colorado because we, black people, lack the resolve to build our own. We rather beg for diversity, inclusion, and equity at a white institution than determine our own success at a black institution.
Mm.
So a bit on the extreme side, a little bit on the extreme side, but I think I still think that you could still provide, right? You can still provide and still do your thing. But Deion Sanders, I think he just wanted to move on. I think he realized he enjoys college football. He does not want to coach NFL at all. He already said it. He has no interest in
I think you'd be horrible in the NFL. I think yeah, he's
some
too
players
many
might think
egos
that.
and too many. He
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to have.
Like,
He wouldn't be able to be him.
You have enough toes. You know, fight me, Deion. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 300 pounds, so it just doesn't work that way. And the kids still look up to him. But I think that is the blowback. So I know with Nova, it was like it doesn't like why people are giving him a lot of crap. That aspect of it, which is fair or unfair, depends on your perspective.
Yeah.
I think you gotta do what's best for you in your career. If you love college coaching, you realize there's probably a limit, there's a ceiling to Jackson State. Hopefully they can still move on and still, you know, there was still a lot of stuff built there. Like the foundation, I still want to buy some of this stuff. I love the logo. I like the color.
He did a lot, man. He did a lot for Jackson State. I think it's really early, so it's kind of like, you know, you don't appreciate certain breakups and things afterward, right in the moment, because it stings, right?
Yeah.
And you know they won the SWAC or whatever, and he's like, all right, like he was ready to go because he knew he was going to Colorado, so it hurts, but he put them on the map. So at the end of the day, the next coach that's coming in is going to have it tough. The expectations are high now, but they're going to be better off, I think, long term. And you know, he built something really great over there. I think Deion Sanders is a leader of men, and you can see that in the way that he talks. He's extremely passionate. He holds kids accountable, right? He wants them to make it to the NFL and be successful. He's tough on them, but gives them strong love, right, and guidance. I think it's great. I think he's going to do great in Colorado. I think they won 1 or 2 games this year. So Colorado was
one game.
So abysmal, but they're in the Pac-12, I think is what it's called, Pac-10, Pac-12. And there are 2 bigger teams, better teams leaving. So I think this is a very calculated, smart move on him. I think Colorado will be relevant right away with the protocol, the transfer protocol. He's bringing his son in. He's got the running back from Alabama that's going to transfer via the transfer protocol. Colorado is going to win 7-8 games this year. They're going to go from 1 to 7 or 8 wins and probably they'll play in a bowl game. That's a big success. And I think in a few years, he could be in, you know, if he recruits well, which he will. Deion Sanders is a Hall of Fame player. People, even these young kids know him.
He's the greatest cornerback
ever. And he brought swag to NFL. He was prime time. All these guys now, Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, with the chains and this and that and the swag and the confidence, that's all from Deion Sanders. He started this. So
he used to be a rapper too. I mean,
he used to be a rapper. But so I think he's going to
about the money.
Big things in Colorado. So I'm pulling for him. I hope he does well. So
yeah, I hope so too. I just wish, you know, nothing is ever ideal. You just wish that he built Jackson State to a point where it is self-sustaining and can move on, but that's just not, you know, we only have that much time in our lives. So you got to move on. So I understand that, but it's a little weird that we talked about and thinking, yeah, he's probably going to be there for a few years. And it's like, Colorado's like, we are so bad and we'll give you way more money than Jackson State has. Like he's probably getting 7 figures, not 7, but he's probably getting 6.
I think what I heard was $5 million. I don't know for how long, but I think he was getting paid $350,000 at Jackson State. That's a significant. Listen, we could all have opinions. If you're getting paid $350,000 and somebody wants to offer you $5 million, I don't know many people that would turn that down. I just don't.
No, I think the narrative was, well, Deion, you went to Jackson State and didn't care about money. Now you care about money. Like
now you care about money.
You always care about money. I think Deion always cared about money, but
sure, absolutely.
What happened was it was a passion project. It blew up, and someone with more money comes in and says, "Hey, I like what you did with this. Here's $5 million." And he went.
Well, it's like, you got this girl you've been seeing for a little while. You got her to date you finally. She gave you a chance. You had a good couple years, and then the finest girl in the whole school was like, "Hey, Pedro, Pedro, I want to date you now." I'm saying, I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
That's not a good example. You're supposed to be
Yes.
loved.
No,
But I do.
it's
Yeah,
a great example because we're all men here. We're going to talk about relationships and men and women today anyway.
that is true. That is true. Hector says, "Come on, Jeff freaking Saturday became the coach. The coach of the coach."
That was yeah.
The thing is, Dion, because we both were referring to the interview that Deion Sanders had with 60 Minutes, and they asked him, would you like to coach the NFL?" And Dion said no, because in a halftime we will go in and I'll only come up with half the team. Like he said, I do not want, because he cannot handle coaching players who don't love the game as much as he does.
Yeah.
So like that's the reason why we said that he wouldn't. Like he personally said, I can't deal with the egos. Like these guys making more money than he does. Ever probably, right? Like you know how the money is moving now compared to when he was playing. So why would he listen to him? You know what I mean? So I think that's why he wanted to stick with young people. And I think a lot of this point, a lot of young men need his help. The earlier the better. So if they can meet him in college and learn all that stuff, I think it's pretty good. Bobby thinks it's going to be hard to win 7 games. He said Colorado ain't winning 7 games unless UCLA.
Who are the two? I know somebody knows. There are 2 teams that are moving out of the pack. Whatever, I can't remember. I heard of.
Yeah, Bobby, let us know.
Is it you? I can't remember. Anyways, I think they can easily win 7 games. Listen, they're gonna have the transfer. A lot of players want to go there. What's that?
You want to write that down? Pedro has said that Colorado is going to win at least 7 games.
Let me write it down next to where when Hannibal said the Brooklyn Nets are going to win a championship. Okay, here. I found it. Hold up. No. Colorado. hold on. Colorado 7 wins.
At the very least.
23. What's today's date? 11-7?
7, yes, sir.
Got it.
You know what? The Brooklyn won today. They beat the Hornets. We on our way.
On our way to the championship.
We on the way. Kyrie and Durant combined for 62 in your face.
That's pretty good. But look, UCLA and USC are leaving. Those are the 2 powerhouses, guys. So those UCLA and USC. Okay, USC was the best team this year. I think Utah won the championship. But anyways, those 2 teams leaving is going to free up Colorado. I'm telling you. I mean, they're not going to have to play them. And Colorado can easily win 7 games.
All right, you know what, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I have no idea. I don't watch a lot of college football at all. I like to see the pros. So college basketball, college football, it's and then they're not there very very long. It just And I didn't go. I went to college, but I didn't go to college with like a school that had a team. I went to community college because I was broke and stupid. So like I don't have like I went to Alabama. I'm like, yeah, I'll cheer for Alabama if I knew someone that went to the high school or went to the college.
Yeah.
College women's volleyball, I am a big fan of.
Big fan.
It's a really great sport, Pedro.
It's a really good
athleticism.
Yeah.
And skill.
Yeah, it is.
I
like pole vaulting. That's a pretty good one too.
Pole vaulting,
ladies track and field.
Yeah. All that's fantastic. Feats of physical
beach volleyball, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And we're not pigs.
No, not at all.
Fair enough. All right, so I didn't tell you about this, but guys, I wanted to wait until we got all our usual people coming in, settling in. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I still want you to put your answer in. This is a male only question. I'm sorry, Kuala, if you're still listening, but you can still contribute, obviously. This is a question that's been I saw this on Instagram, and I thought I gotta put this question out and see what Pedro would what's his answer. And we're gonna play it right now.
Would you rather lose an inch of your deck to get 1 inch of height, or lose 1 inch of height to grow 1 inch of deck?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a really good one. I'm
ready for the answers. I'm ready.
Okay, so
what
if you was at a date and you saw a woman that looked like that, right? And she threw that question out to you, because where can you go with that question?
I don't know. She was fine. Let's see. Well, she said, would you rather lose 1 inch on your dick
to get an inch of height,
and gain 1 inch of height, or lose height 1 inch of height and gain? How tall am I? Hold on.
Get to the-
My height, I'm not a tall man. I think I'm 5'9", 5'10".
we are literally the
right?
same height. Yeah, we're the
Yeah,
same.
Hannibal's like I think a little taller than me, but like we're about the same, right? But height is, it's never been an issue for me, so I don't really care about that. I've never, worried about my height. But also I don't worry about. I don't, it's like.
Okay, guys, listen. Pedro is so
see.
huge. He doesn't need to worry about any of this shit. He's like,
So
hey,
you're
look,
saying, okay, you're saying I'll be 5'8", 5'9", 5'8", okay, but I gain an inch in my manhood, right? Or I lose an inch in my manhood and gain 1 inch. Nah, I think I'll go short. I guess, right?
oh, so you would lose inches of your height to what you're saying.
I think so. I don't know. That's a good one, man. That's a tough question. That's a tough question.
See, like Hector, he got it. He's 6'2". So if he Jesus, he's gonna lose a foot of inches. He's 6'2", but he's like, I want to lose
foot. Oh Lord.
12 inches to get a thigh slapper that's going to destroy a woman. You could just do 5 inches, do 3 inches, Hector. You're still tall.
I'm, I am in that. I haven't had any complaints either way from women with my height, or I'm saying I'm not like, so I don't know what I would do.
The humble brag that's coming out of Pedro right now.
No, I'm saying, but listen, I'm saying it's a tough question, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough question. I guess, I mean, does an extra, listen, are the ladies in here? Does an extra, if you get an extra inch on your manhood, but you don't know how to use it, is that a significant amount?
Yeah,
probably not, right? So an inch, I don't really feel like
Giggity said he could spare. I could spare a few inches. I don't know which one he's referring to. He didn't.
I don't know either. I don't want to know, Giggity. I've known you too long.
He said, "I'm a little dog with a big bite." So I don't know if that means he's a grower, not a shower. Like,
I don't know. I mean, that's I don't know where Hannibal comes up with this shit, man.
It's called Instagram, man. I don't,
Yeah.
An inch of height is nothing compared to an inch of pipe. So Bobby's like, hey, listen, you gotta maximize your pipe. Not worry about how tall you are. But women love tall dudes. Like they like 6'1".
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying if I could, okay, this is an easy question for me. If you're telling me I could go, well, no, maybe not. Oh shit.
We could think about it. All right, what if you finally want to be 6'1"?
That'd be if I was
6'1", 2-3 inches of your dingling.
No, I would not want to lose 2 inches. That's a significant amount. No, 2 or 3. That's no. I'm.
Yeah, but if you 6'3".
But then I got like a micro penis. No, I'm good. No, I would not want to be 6'3" with a micro penis. I'm good. No, absolutely not. I'd rather be a short king at 5'7" and having what I need and treating the woman right than some micro penis and 6'3", because you could be 6'3" and yeah, okay, more women might be attracted to you. You get in the bed and they're like, oh, something ain't matching, right? So, I'm good.
Koala is still here. Appreciate it. That part, Pedro, is how you work.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think, think, and I think I'll say this based on other things I've heard women say, like a dude that's walking around with like a fucking John Holmes cock with like 18 inches. He's got 12-inch dick. He's got this. He's got that. Women don't like that. Women don't like that.
Yeah, it's too big.
Women don't like that.
Because a woman is only a certain size.
Yeah,
and they're not looking.
It's not pleasurable. It's not.
But
so.
Okay, fair enough. There's some other saucy comments. Nova Dasher, I don't know what Nova Dasher is trying to say. He said, I'm good. God made me thick all around. No, but that was too much information.
No, but that's too it's too specific.
You're gonna have to leave you and your commander's nonsense. Yeah. But that's why it's such a hard question, because we still, even though we're maybe comfortable with what we have, there's still I don't know if they call it insecurity about it, but am I big enough where I can even have a stupid scenario where if I lose a few inches, because inches of height when you're walking around is noticeable. But what is the one question here? Would losing 1 inch or gaining 1 inch, would it matter to satisfy women? Probably not. But losing 3 inches, maybe.
Well,
right?
I would think so. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's other things you can do to please a woman, but you know, I think it's so weird. Manhood and size of your manhood is so we make fun of it. We joke about it. We joke about it, right? With each other as men in the locker rooms, this, that, and women make joke about it. I don't want no man. What's that song? I don't want no eeny weeny teeny little short. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We talk about that culturally and socially, right? But it doesn't, a lot of men sometimes will relate their confidence with their size, but women as a whole, I think, don't really care about it. As long as you're not micro, you know what I'm saying? As long as you're not micro man,
How about
if you know what you're doing, you could please a woman and she can be fine with that. So
how about a tuna can? Matthew Green said like a tuna can all around. I don't even know what's going on. So you guys are walking around with like, what?
Listen.
You guys walking around with like soda cans, like with the tall boys. Like what's going on here? You guys are really all right. Hey, listen, for me,
good for y'all.
All right, listen, I think.
Yeah, I want to hear your perspective on how you would answer that question.
Dick size, but height is something that is still important for men. Like you want to be bigger, look more imposing. Women are attracted. What women like to say, I want a guy around 6 something. That's attracted to them. So you can still, well, if you became 6'1", but you learn how to pleasure women in other ways, other than just having a really small penis now, because you put all that. Like there's a dynamic there because short men feel like they're not as desired compared to taller dudes. I think we get too tall, it becomes like a
awkward issue. Almost
because our structures and our cars and our like you can't be a 7-foot guy walking around. It looks uncomfortable to me. But let's see, what would I do? Because you humble bragging will go like, he's like, well, or are you saying I need help with my dick or I need help with my height? Is
right. That's ultimately how you got to break it down. Like where are you more at a deficit? Basically.
Yeah. Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's
if I say I'll take a few inches of a dick, it may seem like I'm walking around with like a big giant thigh slapper, and that's not necessarily true regardless of how I'm black or anything. It's a tough question. I didn't even answer it. I was like, this is ridiculous. Let me ask Pedro.
Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot. Yeah, thanks. See, but I'll say this: I'm not a tall man, but when I walk around, I feel very confident. Like I don't, when I'm walking into places, if I'm around men that are taller than me, I don't feel less than at all. Right. So I think it depends on how you carry yourself and all that. So and 1 inch, okay, you're gonna give me 1 inch more on my height. That's actually less significant than 1 inch on my penis. Think about it.
You know what? F it.
If you look at the ratio of percentage, it's not even really comparable. If you think about it in that regard.
I become 5'6", and they're like, he's short. But then when it's time to happen, they're like, oh, okay, I'll stay around.
Yeah, but if you're 5'6", are you ever going to get to that point with the ladies? You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, the baby, I know he sucks now. And a lot of people don't like him. Confidence at a 10. Lil Wayne, confident of effort. Confidence and success, you'll get what you need. But I think if you guys ever watched the movie Bedazzled, you may not have watched it. It's Brandon Fraser. He is a normal dude. He finds a genie, but she's more like a devil. And instead of giving him exactly what he wants, like a wish, she finds a way for him to back out the wish. And then because I guess the premise is once he's out of wishes, he's like she belongs to him or something like that. So like one scene was he said, I want to be rich and powerful. Well, she made him a Colombian drug lord. It's like, this is stupid, right? Like, and then he had to back out of that one. The next one is like, I want to be a professional like athlete. They made him into a basketball player, right? Wilt Chamberlain numbers, just destroying everyone. It's actually pretty funny. When he finally goes to talk to this chick that he actually wants to talk to, he drops his towel, smallest penis ever. She starts laughing at him. So like, I don't want to be disappointed by being tall with a small penis. Yeah. I'd rather be short. And then when it's time for that, it's like, holy. It's like, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know.
This was a good conversation.
It's a good conversation because it's a tough one. So I'm glad you brought this to us. I think the chat's having some fun at our expense, which is always a good time. But it's interesting. I don't know. But think about I want to end it on this note. Think about adding 1 inch to your height. All of us here. Okay. That isn't as significant as if you were to add 1 inch, proportionally speaking, to your manhood. Think about it, right? So just think about it like, one would be more visibly known than the other, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna ask Madison this when I get off the podcast and see what she'd say, and then
hopefully she says the right thing.
I don't think she cares, but she's good. It don't matter.
Yeah. Matthew says a Bedazzled Hand. Yeah, that's a throwback. I think. Yeah, that's a funny movie. I would, if a movie recommendation, go see Bedazzled. It has.
Is that with Elizabeth Hurley?
She's fine.
Still fine.
She's the devil. She just grants wishes for him to mess up. Like, she's not really there to try to get him to what he wants, because, like I said, he says, "I want to be rich and powerful," but you make him a Colombian drug lord that's being attacked. Like, it's just more funny scenarios that kind of comes into it.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so let me look at one more.
Look at Bobby. You could put Bobby's up.
Yeah. 6 black men with an average. Yeah, exactly. Because everyone assumes, like, if you're Shaq, yes, you assume that there's,
he's got a toddler on his fucking shit. He's got like a little baby. Right? Yeah,
but it's like, it don't work that way, right? Right. Like, what are you gonna do with that? Like,
who knows?
So at least your expectations of seeing a short guy, you think, oh, he's proportional. Then he, drops his pants and the thing hits the floor. You're like, oh, okay, that's where all the height went. So, I guess we'll move on to something that's not related, but kind of could be talking about relationships. And let me see if I can find this article really fast about men being lonely. Let me see if I can find it real quick. She talks about this. So we were a really popular YouTuber. I forgot her name, but she's a feminist content creator. And she was talking about how men are lonely now. Like, they're more lonely than ever before. Not happy. Men are happiest when they actually have, relationship, families. I think that. But there's another study that says that women who are not married or single are happier. So can't find it real quick, but we're gonna watch this video. I think it's 2 videos. One is 1 minute. She kind of actually explains a lot of this, and I forgot to upload the second part. So we're gonna just go with the first part, and then I'll briefly explain what she said in the second part. I thought I'd put it in, but let's jump into it.
Lonely single men are on the rise due to higher dating standards. Oh my God. It was like a mating call or something. But anyway, saw this and immediately looked it up because I was like, is this real? Maybe this isn't real. Come to find out, these articles were published literally like a day or 2 before. So turns out this is actually true, although as always, there's more to the story. But this is all research from the Pew Research Center, I think a place that most people find trustworthy. And when I was looking at the research article, I didn't expect it to be as long as it was, because it was honestly very broad strokes, but it was mostly talking about how, just statistically, you're just really worse off if you're unpartnered, especially if you are an unpartnered male, not just unpartnered people, but unpartnered straight men, and why they are unpartnered and the effects it'll have on their health, mental, physical well-being, all of that. And how, and speaking in binaries, how for women, it's actually like healthier apparently, or, them not to have a husband or children weighing them down. I'm kidding.
So you can tell she's not kidding. She seems pretty happy about that.
She's laughing and smiling.
Laughing and smiling of people, of men, of people, human beings, fellow human beings, not being happy, dealing with mental health. So you can tell where her angle is. She's a feminist and blah, blah, blah. But there are some studies out there that's saying that single women are happier. Studies, right? What do you think about the idea of, I guess she's kind of making it seem like men need women more than women need men. And what do we say about the fact that is it true that women are happier single without any kids compared to having kids and being married? So like, I'll let to give you like, you can let me know what your thoughts on this.
This is a deep one, man. I was really thinking about this today. I actually brought it up to my girl earlier. We had a good little conversation about it. A lot of layers here, but this is a short. I'm gonna speak in generalizations a little bit, right? Because nothing is 100%, and people are individuals, and we have different things and times in our lives.
Of course.
You got ready for this? Women need men more than men need women. That's my opinion. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. A lot of women currently, they say it's nice to be single and I'm good. I'm feeling myself. I'm Stella. I'm getting my groove back. There's empowerment in that. These things are true. There's nothing wrong with that. But women, just by pure nature and a lot of other factors, need to have these motherly instincts, and when that isn't being taken care of and isn't being met, you're going to be lonely with cats, and you're not going to be good, right? And you're just not. Women's legacies are similar in the fact that with men, like we want our legacy, like our children. Women can say the same thing, right? So I feel like men are struggling now. We're struggling. We're lonely. We're depressed. Like statistics will say that we're not dating enough. We're not socially, ready. But listen, I'll tell you this right now. Women need us more from relationships and socially, in my opinion. There are a lot of things that men do that we don't get enough credit for. And a lot of the feminists out there, if she is a feminist, I don't know who she is. I'm assuming she is based on what Hannibal is saying.
Yeah,
how she's speaking. But women want equal rights, but then they also want us to open doors. They want us to sink on the ship, and they want the boat on Titanic. They want men to go to war when women ain't going to war and dying. Most men are in prison, more so than women. Men are on the streets, homeless more than women. Like there's a lot of things that men deal with that women do not deal with. Now, the same can be said for women. That's fair. But men, historically, in the history of man, we build things. We're the ones doing the dangerous jobs. We're the ones taking most of the risk with our livelihoods, our bodies. So, hot take it for what it's worth. This is no shade at women, but women need men more than men need women, in my opinion. That's how I would answer that question.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to put the second part in, but it's more of the same. She's saying that, this is the main point. She said, well, a lot of people say that women need men, right? Like, but she's like, I think men need women as much as a fish needs a bicycle. Well, fish doesn't need a bicycle. Why women need a man? And I think she's also saying that things are changed. Things are a little different now in our culture, our society. We talked about this in terms of education, success, and traditional public school system where women are doing it better than men because it's designed better for them to succeed in. They're able to sit down. They're able to map out their day. They're able to do a little bit better while we should be running around hunting things or beating things up. And we're just sitting at a table and getting chastised because we're not sitting down, silently with our hands folded. So we are not thriving in the educational system as we should. So they're earning as much or probably more. They're getting the higher degrees. They may not, I guess it gets to the point, do they need it? Do they need a man there? Now, that's not saying when things go wrong, because that's how societies can fall in an instant, right? Like during the pandemic, did we hear a lot about feminism? No. We heard about, okay, who's protecting who? Who's doing what for whom? Like when a war is breaking out in Ukraine, are they still talking about feminism stuff? No, the men have to stay back to protect the family. No one's saying, well, why do women ain't staying back to protect the family? No, women and children go, men stay. Yep. Like when shit hits the fan, we don't play around with the nonsense of the stuff that we dealing with in the first world problems. When shit hits the fan, the men have to, because they are the stronger of the sex.
That's just how it is. Yeah. I mean.
But when things are good in a thriving community and women are out earning and they have the higher degrees, it gets to a point where do they need men to pay for things, to take care of them. They don't.
No,
And
absolutely
that's
not.
the weird dynamic. And that's where a
Yeah.
lot of men are unhappy, because men are supposed to be doing something. They're supposed to have a mission. They're supposed to be married. They're supposed to have kids. That's what keeps us going. I think we grew up, at least in my, where I live, in my culture, and going to school and going to college and being, I guess, a liberal back in the 2000s. I feel like I still am a liberal, just an old school one, not what the hell's going on now, where
Yeah. I hear
being
that.
married was a bad thing. Having kids, you don't want you don't want holding you down. You see so many parents, they're not happy with their kids, and I've seen parents not happy. Like, you can tell they resent having a child. And I was like, yeah, we don't need to just do that whole religious, very, stringent, rigid lifestyle, structured. But the problem is, a lot of that helps society, because I don't know if this is happening in other societies. Now, it's happening in Asia, like Japan. No one's effing anyone in there. Birth rates are falling. They're falling here too. It's a little different over there. But other cultures where family is still an important base for our culture, our society, things are not falling apart compared to here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I think what's great about America, right? And what's great about what we've built here is that we have a lot of liberties and freedoms, and we can exercise our voices, right?
Yeah.
We could do a lot here. We really can. I really believe that, right? And like I said before, your biggest strength can be your biggest weakness. Your gift could be your curse. And I think what happens is, because we have people that are impassioned and we hear them and everybody should be heard, you have then this mix of it when it goes too far one way, and it starts to become, in a lot of ways things have been unbalanced. And then when you start to balance it out, it's like, okay, this feels good. Women have been treated like shit. Certain people of color have been treated like shit in this country. It's a fact. Okay, that cannot be denied, and anybody that denies that doesn't know history, right? So when we start to balance things out, which is good, and now I feel like we're going like it's leaning like the other way a little too much.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is your strength is your weakness, and I think that's where we're at now, because I feel like some traditional roles, when you escape them completely, in some ways, things get murky, because men and women think differently. We just do most of the time, guys.
Right.
What we value is different. How we move is different. How our bodies are different. What we appreciate is different from one another. We parent differently. We just do. And when we try to, when a man tries to be like a mom, and then a kid has two moms, right? Oh, I got two moms. Like, that could be a bad thing, right? And when a woman's trying to be too much like a man, sometimes, the traditional roles I'm speaking of, it'd be like, the kid's got two dads. It's like, you need that nurturing, and then you need a good balance. Like Tony was saying, well, it's got to be a balance. And I think right now we're shifting to it's like a new balance, and it's a little weird for some people. And, I think when I said, I think women need men more than men need women, I meant it. But I think, like, for me, at least, I need a woman in regards of certain like emotional things, right? Support. I need words of affirmation. I need things like that to, make me feel like I can continue to provide for her in a positive way, right? And there's certain things, she needs from me that I can't get to her. But listen, at the end of the day, we got, feminists, whatever it is, what it is. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but this is how I feel. Like Hannibal said, during the pandemic, or if something's popping off, if you need to call the cops, okay, if you need somebody to support you in some type of way, there's going to be somebody you want that's going to be able to physically be able to help you. If a war pops off right now, me and Hannibal are going to be the ones that are going to go, right? That's just how the society is. If the Titanic's sinking, Jack's going to die and Rose is going to be on that goddamn wood plank and she's going to live, right? So why, like, that's what happens. So what? It's not equal, guys.
Yeah. Well, I think it's women or men are, like I said, different, and we have different strengths and weaknesses, and they're not necessarily one better than the other. I think that's where it is. Like, some people think that one is better than the other because it's like the man is supposed to be physical strength. And I guess a lot of feminists probably look at that as that's too strong, too much of a strength. We need to bring that down. But it's we all have different strengths as men and women. This is really good comments. I want to read a few.
Yeah. Please do.
Koala says, I personally enjoy having a man being in a relationship. We feel like we need each other. Hector says, I hope this isn't disrespectful to any women, but they try so hard to compete with men in every aspect. The problem is emotions will always come first in women than in men. And I think that's an issue where I think a lot of us, and I've heard this many times, and I have experiences. Pedro, your worst manager or your worst boss, were they male or female?
A guy.
Really?
The worst? Yeah.
The worst.
The worst.
The worst boss for me was a woman.
Mhm.
And I've talked to other people, and I think my girl too, like, yeah, a worst boss is a woman. And a lot of, and I'm, thinking about like, why is that? If that's a common thing, a lot of it is a woman trying to be assertive, being overly assertive. They're trying to follow what a masculine form of it is. The problem is you're not masculine. And then I don't know if it feels forced. It's probably forced. Where you're trying to get someone to do something and you just come across very aggressive, and even the other women don't want to deal with it.
I had the best boss. I was somebody that managed restaurants, so I had female GMs and also male GMs, and then I became a GM and director. The best manager that I ever was a leader of was a woman. But I always felt like my best management teams, and I actively actually would seek this out in some regard, was a balance. So if I had a 3-manager team, if it was me and 3 other managers, I did not want them to be all women. I also did not want them to be all men. I needed to have 2 guys, 2 girls, 1 guy, 2, you know what I'm saying? I needed to have a balance, because I felt like there's certain things that a lady's personality versus a man's personality would be better at coaching and training and things like that. That's what I've learned, at least. So you got to have a good mix. But the best manager that I ever worked with and managed was definitely a woman. Her name was Christy. She was amazing, great at time management. And, men tend, in my restaurant industry, men tend to be more like assertive, right? But they didn't have the care factor as much. So they would do things quickly and react, which in some scenarios could be good. And men tend to be a little more thoughtful in coaching and thinking about things. That's at least what I've experienced.
Yeah. For taking care of dogs, women are just a little better. Just a little better. Men were able to drive the van and deliver the dog. So yeah, if I had 3 women working that shift, I'm like, most likely nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Of a goofball dude with another goofball, then I have to show up in the middle of the day because something went wrong. That's just my experience. But
that's funny. So you said the guys was driving and the woman would take care of the dogs.
Yeah. So I don't know if I just kept it traditional at the spot when I used to work.
Yeah.
But not every. So going back to the idea, are women happier single and childless, as some of the researchers has said?
What do you think about it? What do you think about that?
I've been around a lot of single people. You know what? I would say, regardless of men and women, I'll keep it a blanket. Like, I'll blanket. I've seen people around my age with not married, no kids. They're not happy.
Yeah.
They think they're happy.
Yeah.
Because they're either able to go on these extravagant vacations and able to do all this stuff, Instagram, and taking pictures, and it looks like they look very happy. But when you get to know them, or you're around people who know them, they're not happy at all. They have no mission. They everything is just a hedonistic. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go to DR and do whatever I want to do. That's fun at the time, but you're back home and you're looking for another vacation.
It's momentary happiness. When you don't have a purpose. When everything can be selfish in a way, right? I'll just say, if you're single and you're going to DR and you're going to the clubs, and
that's your if you want,
that's your thing. You're hooking up everyone. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But what's the true sense of purpose? When you have a family and somebody that you need to rely on, and they rely on you, and there's a balance, and there's teamwork there, and there's accountability. There's, you know what I mean? There's love, like that, and you're working on something together, a shared ideal. That's, it's not easy. The ongoing joke is, when you're married, you want to be single, and when you're single, you want to be married, right? That's the thing for some people, right? But listen, man, like life should not be spent alone too much. You got to have a balance, but we are meant to be loving people and be around people and grow together and learn from each other, right? That's what life is to me. So, yeah, I think some women that think that or say that they're probably a little bit bitter, or they're not ready in this moment in their life to feel secure enough to be in a good relationship. So
Right.
they rather just be single than do the tough work. That's how I feel. Women that feel like that. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Gotcha. My bad, Hector. Yo, if you want to go to DR, man, you gonna come with me? I want to hang out. I want to hang out in the DR.
Listen,
Hang out.
we going to PR, Hector. We ain't going to DR, bro. You know Puerto Rico's better. Come on, let's stop all that madness right
You
now.
don't want Hector. He's gonna start talking about those Knicks to you again, throwing your face. The Driven Dad, Tony. Just my worldview. We are designed to have a family, and there's a reason why we have a desire to even have sex in the first place. Just my worldview. Tony,
That's deep.
Driven
That's
Dad.
deep, Tony. Yeah,
Listen,
that's deep.
he's in a happy relationship, beautiful wife, beautiful
Yep.
kids.
Yep.
He talks to a guy named Steve every Wednesday. He's doing very, very well for himself. Drives
Yes, he
Tesla.
is.
So
Yes, he
I
is.
understand that, and that's when you have that principle in mind, right? And you find someone else with the same values and principles. That's just that it works perfectly, right?
Yeah.
And there's some people who may be okay being alone. I'm not going to say everyone needs to be with someone. There may be some people who are like, hey, listen, I'm better by myself. But I think that's a very small amount of people. I think
I agree.
it's very unique set of people
Yeah.
that are totally okay being by themselves. And I'm sure not just like a hermit. I'm sure they're able to go out and work and go to the grocery store and still able to have a conversation. But I think, like you said earlier, something happened. There was some kind of trauma. Something occurred. The void. I think you talked about this either yesterday or the day before. There's something missing.
Yeah.
Now that a bad relationship or a bad nurture situation with your mom and father, and how they handled you as a child will dictate how you handle the opposite sex or the same sex.
Yeah.
And
Good
this
point.
researcher is asking single women who either went through some terrible situation or they've been raised and the situation was bad, and they say, "Are you happy?" Like, hell yeah, I'm happy. Like, are you really happy? Like, how are we dictating happiness?
Yeah.
By a questionnaire. Like, if you're single, especially if you're newly single, you may lie to yourself. Men too do it too, right? Had a bad breakup. Yeah, I'm doing great. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
And then at the
absolutely.
moment
Yeah.
of honesty, you're still dealing with it. So I think most single women are happy. No, because we're looking at the stats. Everyone is unhappy. Everyone's taking more prescription medication than ever before.
Yeah.
We're all drinking more. Alcoholism shot up during the pandemic. So where's a lot of single happy people? I've seen single men and single women. No, I don't think they're happy. They're happy when they have a partner. That's my
Yeah, I think it's very well said. I also feel like one thing that we're missing here a little bit maybe could be, and you guys let us know what you think, relationships and the normality of them and how we get into them, how we stay in them, how we act in them has shifted a lot in just the last couple years and the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They've shifted a lot. The normal relationship, the white picket fence, the 2 kids and the dog and this and that, and you got to get married before you have kids. That's not normal anymore, right?
Yeah.
And some would say that's bad or good. That's personal preference. But how we even look at relationships is extremely different, right? Women back in the day, right? Think about just 50s, 60s, moved very differently than they do now. They dress differently. Now women kind of go out, they do what they want, like
leggings all the time. Okay, so
leggings.
let's get into it. Do you have a problem with your lady? I don't know what she wears often or her style. Are you okay with your lady wearing leggings all the time? Like every time you go outside.
She does wear leggings. She wears sweats. That's normal attire. My girl's a stay-at-home mom. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think I will say this. We've definitely, men and women we've dumbed down our style. A lot of women now, it's like when they go out, it's like comfortable. In the 50s and 60s, women wore dresses and makeup and they did their hair. And, women still do that now, but women will do all that and then throw sweatpants on and some Chuck Taylors and still look very nice, right?
Yeah.
So everything's it's shifting. How we dress, like Hannibal's saying, how we act, how we date, online dating, all this is just very different. So I think when women are talking about I'm happy or single and I got my dog and I go to Target and I'm on my own, I'm a strong woman, bullshit. Okay, that's good for a couple days, maybe for a year. But you're on those dating sites. You want to have a good man. I respect that you're not settling, but we are here to be loved and to show love. So to say that you're happy or single is complete bullshit in my
Yeah,
opinion.
and I've dealt with a lot of this because I take care of animals. So I've been in places where everyone has cats. There's a lot of cat owners. I love them. They're like my kids. They're not your kids. They're cats. This is why my dog, I treat him like a baby. He's not a baby. It's a dog. And I'm a man that's around dogs, and I actually have a child. It's not the same. You should go find yourself a family. But I understand you don't want to push it. And I don't want to be anti-corporate capitalism over or anything. But things have changed in our society where you need two people to work.
Yeah,
It wasn't a time, like Pedro, lucky, fortunate, he works hard enough, privileged to be able to figure that out where your lady is able to stay home.
It ain't easy though.
It's not easy, right?
It's not easy. No.
But our society, our system is the way it's constructed because it's not the way it was before, where one man can go get the home, a house, get a house, a car, maybe another car for his wife, and have the ability to take all of his kids and go to college and pay. Just go working at a warehouse or something, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of manufacturing jobs that were here in America. Not anymore. The rent for New York City is $3,000 per month.
It's crazy.
It's really difficult for one person to stay home and one person to work and gotta pay all the bills. So
yeah,
that's a difference. So it's like if the system was different where one person could take care of a family, would more women stay home? Would it be more of that traditional situation? Yeah. But the way
No, go ahead.
I'm saying, what do you think? Like,
I think it's not easy what we do, what me and Madison do, right? But we knew that that's what we wanted to do if we were going to have a kid, and we, it's just very traditional in that regard. But our relationship is not traditional but in that one regard, it is. And we decided to do that together, and that's our partnership. That's our deal. That's what's important to her as well. She likes, doing that, and stay at home mom, actually, in some ways, depending on your financial situation and where you live, and could be a saving. It could save you money, because
that's true.
If she was working, then at some point, okay, we got to figure out, okay, well, do we need childcare? Do we need this? Do we need that? Do we need 2 really, really good cars? Do we need, what I'm saying? There's a lot of other factors that go into that, right? And because she's a stay-at-home mom, it frees up my schedule 1,000% to really stretch my brain muscle and my body muscle and my active time to make money doing multiple different things. I don't have to think about, okay, I got to be home at this time. I got to do this at this time. She's got to go to work. I got to get the kids on the bus. I don't ever have to think about that because she holds all that down. And I balance it when I get home and in the mornings, right? So it just depends on like your lifestyle and what's important. But like Hannibal's saying, it's hard because now in the 80s, right? You could get a home, get a mortgage, pay your bills on, a $45,000 a year salary, and the mom will stay at home, and that's what the dad's doing. That's literally impossible to do that now. It just can't. And that's only 30 years ago, 20 years ago. So inflation's a real thing. It's crazy. I feel like the American dream has shifted. It's not what it was before. It's not the white picket fence. Like, people are making their own white picket fence, and that's not a bad thing, but it's also the gift and the curse. Like when we change things so much, it could be at a deficit sometimes, because we're very much a society that's very momentary. We want things quick. It's all about the moment, whether it's social media, whether it's how we consume information, how we get our food. Everything's fast, like never before, right?
Yeah.
So we're so in tune with how it feels to get something so quickly. Sometimes we're not thinking about, okay, what is that going to make me do a year from now, 10 years from now? So these women saying, I'm happier. I've never been happier. I got my dog. I go to Chick-fil-A and I go to Starbucks and Target, and nobody tells me nothing. I don't got a man. I go work out. I'm good. Tell me how you feel 5 years from now when you're still doing those things, but nobody's showing you love and attention. A dog cannot love you in the same way that a man can, or a woman can, for that regard.
It's all different. It's all different. Like a dog is dumb, and they just love you, even if
they'll show you unconditional love, but it's different. Okay,
yeah,
it's just different.
Even if you don't, you shouldn't earn. You didn't earn that love. The dog still loves you because it's a little different. But let me see what the different dad says. American dream originally was independence as in entrepreneurship, and there's still opportunities here in America to do that, right? Like we're doing it, right? We're trying to.
It's
at
hard
least.
though. It's hard.
It's difficult, and if someone said, "Hey, the reason why I don't have kids because I can't afford them," can you sit there and say you're wrong? I'm like, yeah, I feel you. Like I feel you. If you like, especially when you're in Brooklyn, you're in New York City, and says that I can't afford to have a child because I barely able to afford rent. You're like,
maybe, but the same people that are saying they can't afford to have a kid are the ones that probably have an $80,000 car. Maybe they got a car loan, they got Gucci flip flops. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perspective, right?
Priorities.
So they're spending all this money at Whole Foods, and they got all these Netflix. Come on, man. I just had a kid. She's 17 months old. Kids become expensive if you're thinking about their future down the line. But babies right away are not that expensive. They're just not. You have a baby shower, people give you shit. Like they're just not. And this is coming from somebody that just had a baby. So,
right.
I mean,
cool. Kim says, my situation is not what you are talking about. I have my 2 remaining children are grown and I have 6 grandchildren. I enjoy them and I can live my life. I'm also financially set and can work part-time. Fantastic. That's fantastic. It's weird. Like, my son will be 9 next month, and I'm already thinking like, yeah, in a few years he's out, and time is flying by so much. Like
in 9 years he'll be going to college.
Yeah, it is crazy, and he better make sure he puts on a condom because I already told Carla. I said, listen, this kid at 15 has a child. I'm going to move in the woods. I'm going to give up. Because I failed. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, why am I going to be the
you can't say you failed. Have you guys talked about having that conversation with him when it's time, as far as protection? Will you be the dad that will give him a condom? Like, have you guys thought about that?
Most definitely, yeah. Because you gotta learn somewhere. And kids are stupid. Because I remember when I was in school and the things they said about sex, none of them made any sense. But we didn't know because, now the internet is pretty. We didn't have the internet back then, obviously. But they would just say all types of shit. And you're like, I guess that's true. I mean, I never had it. Like, but definitely, information is power. But yeah, things a little different. I mean, I think that men too, really start coming together and talking. But this internet stuff, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Definitely go outside, have a conversation.
Well, I think, do you think that men and women, and in some regards, with social media and the dating sites, and it's like things that were meant to bring people together have actually torn them apart in some ways? Because now you have more than ever, people have podcasts, they have a YouTube channel, they have a Facebook, they have a Reddit subreddit, and everybody has these opinions and everybody wants to be heard, right? Which is something wrong with that.
Right.
But when you have that, when everybody's talking, not enough people are listening, right? So you have this woman that has a podcast. She's talking. Pedro's talking. Hannibal's talking. But are we listening to the other side? I think sometimes we're doing too much talking now. We're clearly talking more than ever because of all the platforms that we have at our disposal. And we're not doing enough listening. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
It's possible. Actually, this is a good transition. I wanted to talk to you about this off air, but we do talk about podcast business, channel business on air, because you guys are just as important as, without you, it'd just be me and Pedro talking to each other.
Which we would do that anyway, but
we wouldn't be.
It's fun because you guys are along for the ride.
So. It'd be more like inappropriate conversations, probably. We should do more listening. So we had this conversation about this before, but bringing more people into the fold in the podcast, having more conversations, bringing some of the listeners to come in and have the round table discussions about some of the topics we talk about. They can say, hey, Hannibal, you're an idiot. Everything you said didn't make any sense. And I'm like, duly noted. Or like Pedro.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
Like I would say thank you for listening.
You would be really kind probably, and then after me and Hannibal would talk and be like, that motherfucker.
Fuck that guy. Ban him. Make sure you ban him from the show. You'll be like, hey Pedro, you're awesome. I saw you wear those gray sweats the other day. You don't need to do anything with the hype, man. You're great.
I got gray sweats on right now, bro.
So we're gonna probably introduce that. I think that's anytime, whatever you want. I mean, we'll figure it out. Like maybe we'll do our thing, and then after we kind of do the show, we could just throw the link up and have people talk about the topics, what they want to talk about.
So we had Hannibal and I had this conversation maybe a few weeks back, and I think it was Hannibal's idea of bringing on a couple of men, right, and talking about what it's like to be a single man currently. How is the dating going? What do you feel? And having like a little bit of a round table and getting other people's perspective. So if anybody's in the chat that would be interested in that, hit us up. If you have our contact, put a comment in the comment. If you're watching this on replay, give us an email or reach out to us on email and let us know if you'd be willing to be a part of that. And then on the flip side, we do a week where we have some women come on and we talk about their perspective in a roundtable environment. What's it like to be women right now and dating, and what do you value, and what do you want men to know? And you can come up on the StreamYard and share those opinions and the insights. I think that could be really fun if you guys are down for something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll break down more details. Maybe it depends on if anyone is actually interested in talking about their love life. I mean, you don't
have to show your face either. You don't have to show your face. We could actually figure out a way to. You could do your voice, or showing a face is better, but
yeah, we'll figure it out. Because also I want to make sure that the people who, especially in the first couple of roundtables and our discussions, we'll make sure that the people that we actually know that are cool. So if I see Bobby, or if I see Dash and Trader, or
not gonna sabotage our channel.
Yeah, no one showing pornography. I mean, Pedro had to deal with that with his stuff. I didn't even get to see the film. I didn't even get to see was it a good video? At least
pretty good. Yeah.
Interracial.
Not sure.
That's something I watch. I'm kidding. I don't only watch interracial. Don't have that out there. I watch.
Hannibal likes big booty white girls. I just solved it right there for y'all. You're welcome.
Whatever.
You're welcome.
I don't. Welcome. I watch all races.
Don't be PC. Don't be PC.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think we will do that. I don't know if we'll just be like, hey, listen, what do you guys think about this topics that we talked about? And put the StreamYard link, and hopefully some people will pop in, and hopefully Bobby can get in.
Oh, Bobby.
Oh, giggity. This man should have his own YouTube channel. He refused to do it.
We've been talking this for a year. He ain't gonna do it.
He has like gems coming out of his head.
What's that? Okay, his avatar is the dude from Family Guy, right?
Yeah, Quagmire.
Yeah, Quagmire, is that his name? Yeah. Okay.
Giggity.
Oh yeah.
Really, Nova? So Nova had his own channel. He does his laugh. Was it what kind of film was it? Like what kind of genre?
Break it down.
Yeah, before we leave, I'll let you know what's going on. Yeah. Was that a tuna can? Like, did that guy have a tuna can? Or was it more like like Modelo Tall Boy? Like, let us know.
Modelo with the little gold wrapper around.
I'm giving Pedro too many ideas.
I'm dead.
Yeah, so we're gonna probably at least. I know you said no face. I think you need face.
You're probably right.
At least for the beginning. Right. So like if Dash and Trader came in, we already know his face, and he's like, okay, we got his voice. But no,
we should do the man one first. We get a couple, 2-3 additional guys.
Oh, and, shit! I'm sorry, Nova Dasher. I mean, if they're into that, the people who are into that. But
I don't know what that means. Well, let me read that again.
Lady
boy. I don't know. Lady boy. I don't know what that means.
Transsexuals.
Okay. Oh, I'm what? I'm good.
Yeah, lady boy. So it looked like a lady.
Oh, okay.
Like he has a penis.
Yeah, no.
She, sorry, don't get us in trouble. She had a penis. Probably a big one too.
I'm not sure what to say, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Definitely didn't have to worry about the height. Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm done. Yeah, I'm killing it. I'm going to get us in trouble. Yeah. So next, Nova Dash. I'm sorry. That is. Hopefully, they find that person and do something.
You know what? It's funny. I want to say this before Hannibal takes us to the outro. Yeah. I saw a TikTok the other day, and a girlfriend or a wife was showing her husband or boyfriend pictures of a woman, and she was like, "Can you rate them on a scale of 1 to 10?" Various pictures went up, and it was like the same woman, but like she looked different in each picture, right? Dressed up, a lot of makeup, and she's like, "Oh, she's a 9. Oh, she's a 10. She's a 9.5, 9, 9, 9." And then like the last picture, was the woman, but she was the man.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It was like James Charles. I think he's a celebrity, and
Oh,
James,
yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
guy, but he's dresses up as a woman, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. And the guy, like, you should have seen his face. It was really, like, really funny because he was like, "Oh, that's a dude," and she was like, "Yeah, that's a guy. Isn't she pretty?" He was like, "Well, I already said she was, so I guess I can't go back now." And it was kind of
Which is cool that he didn't like lose his mind. Like,
no,
he
it was
didn't
funny.
know.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
funny.
Dick doesn't know, but then it will know eventually.
It'll know eventually. Yeah, it depends. Hey, everybody likes what they like.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And Nova a little faster than you. He said he caught it faster than you. He had to go and edit it out. Yeah, that sucks, man. And that's what we want everyone to kind of join in, but people want to be funny and those stupid pranks. So I think we should do the mail one. I don't know what we talk about on Monday, but we'll figure something out and we'll put the link. And you gotta show your face. If you show your face and you are a complete ass, everyone knows what you look like. So you go ahead and embarrass yourself. You say, but
good point.
Showing just your feet or
only Hannibal and I can show our face and can be assholes because it's our channel. If you're going to show your face, you got to keep it cool. We're the assholes of the show, not you guys.
Exactly. That's well said, Pedro. Thanks, guys. This is actually a really fun episode. We kind of went all over the place as usual. We'll be back on Monday, probably check it out to see if our team's lost by how many points. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Giants. I don't. Not. It's a really tough couple of games.
You're feeling different than you did 2 months ago. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. Yeah. I feel about the same. My Bears have been shitty all
we
year. So
should have beat the Commanders, at least for Nova's sake. We should have beat them.
Miss that field goal, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for taking the time to check us out. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.